Most people don't quit on their dreams, not because they don't want it bad enough. They quit because the motivation that got them started slowly fades. So if you're someone who's a high achiever, a dreamer, ambitious, and you want to pursue your goals for the long term, but you keep feeling your motivation fizzle out, this is the episode for you. You probably started off this year super consistent, locked in, and motivated to reach your goals for 2026. But if we're being honest, that motivation doesn't last forever. The newness fades and the work gets repetitive. This is where people just say, rely on discipline, which is true, but it is incomplete. Discipline helps you keep showing up. Motivation actually keeps you engaged. In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down what is motivation, why is it important, and 6 things you can do to keep yourself motivated so you can actually reach the goals that you set out for yourself and get one step closer into reaching your dream life.
Take it from me someday.
I truly believe that a well-crafted story has a chance to impact athletes and brands and people all over the country to unite them.
Someday we'll all be free.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Unseen Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Roman Isaiah Brown. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this podcast. We're building something truly special here, building a community of different athletes, creators, entrepreneurs, people who are just committed to their craft, people who are trying to become the best version of themselves in every area of their life. If you want to be a part of this community, please like and subscribe to this podcast. Also, leave a comment. If you find something valuable in this episode, leave a comment below and let's start up conversation, because I don't want to just build this community off of, vanity metrics or just like a whole bunch of views, whole bunch of likes. I really want to build a community that has depth. Those of you who are new to this channel, I am currently on a journey to build my dream life. I just moved to New York a few months ago. I'm currently working in sports marketing and have a lot of dreams and aspirations that I want to do within the sports industry. I am currently documenting, all the ups, all the downs, everything I'm going through, so I can actually share with you guys what I'm going through on the daily. I also will eventually have different people on to share their journey, people who are steps ahead of me, maybe steps ahead of you as well. A lot of it will be athletes, creators, entrepreneurs, visionaries, people who are very successful in talking about what they have done in their journey, in their life, and ways that it can help us. So thanks for tuning in, and I really hope that you enjoy this episode. Let's lock in. Have you guys ever wondered how there are certain people who like constantly get up every single day and feel energized by the day, feel energized about chasing their goals, and they just seem very motivated regardless of everything that's going on outside of them? It's actually really interesting because like I always thought these people are crazy. Like, bro, why are you excited to wake up at 5 a.m. to do this all over again? I don't understand it. It's definitely been a great mystery to me, but as I really kind of taken the time to sit back and look at these individuals, I think it goes beyond discipline, because they're not just disciplined, they're attacking the day with a certain level of energy, a certain level of focus, a mentality that pushes past the status quo. And you can't do that without a level of motivation. They are inspired, they're motivated daily to become a better version of themselves. They're not just going through the motions, they're not just waking up and doing something on repeat mindlessly. Their mind is into it. They are actively trying to get better at whatever it is that they're doing. They're not just doing the work to get it completed. I realize that these people are not any different than me or you. I think they have a sense of motivation. We all have that inner sense of motivation. I think it's just, how do we tap into it, right? How do we allow ourselves to channel that version of ourselves to be energized and motivated about what we're doing and why we're doing it? There's been seasons in my life where I've been motivated, and there's been seasons of my life where I haven't, where I've been going through the motions. Most of the time it was when I was playing football. I think that's always been like the most motivated, competitive person that I've been. I actually want to channel some of that same energy I used when I was playing my sport into what I'm doing now. When I was playing my sport, something about trying to be better than the person next to me really motivated me every day and inspired me every day. And I know that sounds crazy, but it was just me wanting to be the best version of myself. I think that played a part, but I wanted to get the starting position, meaning I had to be better than the linebacker next to me. I wanted to win, meaning I had to be better than the team across from me. And that really inspired me. It was a goal that was there. It was something that I saw. It was something that was tangible. And that inspired me. And I think about the times that I've been least motivated, there was nothing I was actively working towards. There would feel like there was nothing that I was really on a daily pursuit of. I was just kind of going through my life and like, yeah, I may have had goals. I wasn't laser focused on those goals and I didn't really feel the weight of the pursuit of those goals, if that makes sense. So I do believe most of the people who are great at what they do, they find ways to stay motivated. Even when they're at the top of their field, they still have something motivating them, driving them to push past the status quo. They can visualize it and see it and know that they're making progress. That type of motivation inspired everyone around them. They don't just create high standards for themselves, but it ends up creating high standards for everyone else around them. I think all the greats are motivated by something different. Kobe Bryant was motivated by his failures. There's a story where he airballed a game winner in the playoffs and that ended their season. The next season, he worked harder. He believed that his legs gave out on him and got tired, so he worked on his conditioning all next year in ways to strengthen his legs as well, to be able to still have the legs at the end of a game to be able to not airball that shot next time. He's just not going into the offseason with the same thing, but he found something that motivated him to get better, to improve in the offseason. You know, Michael Jordan, he would literally dramatize things that people said in the media when he would play another team just to keep him going, just to keep him motivated. Kanye West, someone who, as an artist, as a creative, I find very inspirational. You know, when he was creating Twisted Dark Fantasy, he literally pushed everyone around him to create better verses. All the artists, all the rappers around him, that's inspiring. And it created one of the best albums out there. Tom Brady, he would find any little detail he could to give himself an advantage in the game because he was motivated to win. I want to have that same motivation in my life. I don't want to look back at my life and regret me not pushing myself to become great. I want to look back at my life and say, like, man, I freaking attacked every single day. I found a way to push myself to be great. And I didn't care if I looked like a try hard, or I didn't care, you know, if people made fun of me, and I don't care if I fell flat on my ass, but like I went for it. And if you're somebody who's listening to this, you probably want a life like that too. Let's actually break down how we can actually obtain that in this life. How can we actually channel that type of motivation in our lives? Before we get to breaking down how do we access this motivation, let's talk about what is motivation. Motivation to me is what makes the work feel worth it. Have you ever had a moment where you felt like, man, I would do anything to have this right now? That's, to me, how I look at motivation. Motivation makes me feel like, man, I'm willing to do all this for that. And I would do anything it takes for me to reach my goals and dreams and do everything. And like, I feel energy behind it. I feel like I could go run a marathon right now without any training because like, I just feel like I want this right now and I'll do anything for that. Having that feeling in you. Maybe that's a very dramatized version of motivation, but like that's kind of why I feel like motivation is to me. It's like that energy that pulls you into wanting to do anything to achieve your goals, right? Now let's talk about why that energy and that motivation is important. It's important because it adds more urgency into what you're doing. Without it, you kind of just rely on discipline. And again, discipline is great. It gets you to show up, but it can also just cause you to go through the motions. Like, for example, you could wake up and work out every single day, but if your goal is to become a high level professional athlete, you got to do more than just work out every day. You have to truly push your body to the limit so you can continue to get better, right? It's not just about showing up, it's about pushing yourself out there. I'm trying to be a podcaster in 2026, right? I identify myself as a podcaster, and to successfully podcast, I can't just turn on the camera and start filming, once a week to put out another episode. I actually have to push. I got to outline better. I have to review my episodes, see how I can get better. I got to look at what other people are doing. How can I implement certain things to add it to what I'm doing? I have to work on my speaking. I can't just do the bare minimum. I got to find ways to push myself. And that goes beyond discipline. You got to be motivated to wanting to do that every day. Otherwise, I can just rely on my discipline. I show up here every week, but am I improving? Am I growing? That pursuit and that growth a lot of times stem from the energy that you're putting behind the work that you're putting out, the work that you're doing. Now we're going to talk about 6 ways to keep yourself motivated in 2026. Step number 1, imagine your future. I think we lose motivation a lot of times because we stop visualizing what our lives will look like once we achieve something, or even the bad if we don't achieve it. I think that we remove the stakes from it. And I think to stay motivated, you kind of have to create the stakes for yourself. And this is why, like, I do a vision board, because, like, the vision board is supposed to inspire me, motivate me. How can you visualize this daily? Imagine the greatest possibilities that can happen if you stay committed. That should motivate you. It's something that has to be done consistently. One thing that I'm trying to start a new habit of is to go and, like, look at my vision board every day and review my goals, and it makes me visualize, this is what I'm working for, this is what I'm doing, this is like what my life will look like once I achieve these things. Putting that in your head, that keeps you going. I would do this all the time when I was an athlete. I would literally visualize myself being on the field, making plays, doing all these different things that I wanted to do. That put some energy behind my workouts at 6 a.m. in the morning, because I knew that my future self wanted this. My future self wants me to be successful. I want to be on the field making all kind of plays. I want the scouts to be able to see. I want the coaches to be excited. I want all of it. I knew that it started with the workout that I had the next day. And knowing that pushed me, that made me think, like, you know what? I sure don't want to work out at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, but when I get there, when I start to work out, it's going to push me to be great, because that's what I want. And this is what it takes to get there. And then that leads me to my second point: reconnect with your why daily. This kind of goes hand in hand with point number 1, but find a way to connect what you're doing with why you're doing it. It can be anything for you, but I think it should be daily. I think it should be something like you put on your screensaver, you write on your mirror, you have something on your wall, or something that reminds you, like, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it. I think that's very important to staying motivated and keeping your energy high towards your goals. Step number 3, create weekly checkpoints. I think I've realized that I've lost momentum in my life, or lost motivation, because I just don't see the growth that's happening. And sometimes, a lot of times, we underestimate our growth. We expect something to be very dramatic, but a lot of times it's just a little stacked on a little every single day. And I think when you look at the growth that you're having and look at the things that you're doing, and you're having a checkpoint with yourself weekly, it motivates. Like, for example, with this podcast, I tried to look at, like, my analytics weekly. I only had this amount of subscribers here, but now I got this amount, and how this relates to my bigger goal. And you can see it, like, oh, I'm getting closer to my bigger goal that I wanted for myself by the end of this year. And so I think if you can have some type of checkpoint that you can look at and be like, oh, I'm getting closer to my goal, I think that would be very helpful in terms of staying motivated. Step number 4, find a way to compete. You can compete with yourself. I want to be better than where I was yesterday. And I think that's the most sustainable way to stay motivated. I think it's the most healthy way. I struggle with this. I want to be a better version than I was yesterday. I also know that for some reason, being better than the person next to me motivates me more. it drives me more. Proving people wrong sometimes drives me more. Using your competitive nature to be like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I know that like maybe this is my athlete background, and I know like a lot of great athletes have this mindset. It's like, watch, I'm going to show you like I have that in me, and I've always been an underdog, and so I always relished on people not believing in me and wanting to prove them wrong. But it has motivated me in my life. I will say it is not the most healthy way when it comes to staying motivated all the time, because I do believe in being internally motivated. You know, you want to be motivated by you. You don't want anyone else to have to dictate your motivation. So I do think it can be fuel to your fire, but it can't be your fire. Allow the people who don't believe in you and believe in your vision, believe in your dream, let that be fuel to your fire to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep creating, to create even more, to try even harder, you know, to work even smarter, and allow yourself to be, you know, internally motivated as well. Allow you wanting to be the better than who you were yesterday, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like, allow that to inspire you as well. Compete with others around you. How can I be better than the other person around me? I want to be a better podcaster than the next self-development podcast out there. I want to be number one. However you channel your competitiveness, whatever works for you, find a way to compete. That's going to keep you engaged, right? That's going to keep you engaged in your work. That's going to keep you inspired in your work. And that's going to keep you motivated daily. And this actually leads me to point number 5. Be in a community of people who are also pushing themselves towards greatness. I think a big reason motivation slows down is because we feel like we're the only ones in our journey, in our story, that's pushing ourselves to going where we want to go, and it feels lonely. And I don't think it has to be that way. If you can find other people, because I do think there's other people that are on the pursuit of greatness. If you can find other people that you can be inspired by them daily to help you stay motivated, that's important. If you can find that community, that'd be great. I personally don't necessarily have that. What I've been doing, or what I've like planned on starting to do, is create this video or like this audio of like sound bites of some of the people that's been most inspirational to me and some of the messages that they've said, and actually listening to that daily. Whether I'm like listening to a podcast or listening to like some of my favorite people speak, I truly get inspired about some of the things that they're saying. Why not put it in a little audio? Maybe it's something like you want to say to yourself, and that motivates you. Okay, point number 6. Be willing to change things up. This is one that for me, I absolutely need, because I struggle with doing the same thing every single day and getting bored with that. Sometimes you need, in certain seasons, a shift, a change in the way you go about something to just bring a new energy to it. It feels new and it feels inspiring. I'm sure there's human psychology around this, but when things are new, a lot of times there's a new energy, a new set of like focus that we would put on something. So I think if you can make something seem new to you, I think that helps. Sometimes I always work out at the same time every single day. Like I may have a season where I'm like, all right, I can work out in the mornings in this season. In this season, I can work out at night. Sometimes just switching that up, it may not work for you. This may not work for everyone. I do think finding some way new may be helpful. Some people really, really, really love their routine. But the thing is about routines is sometimes it can become overly about discipline, which can just kind of lead to complacency at times, or just going through the motions, which we want to avoid. We want to stay energized and locked in and focus on the work and like actually pushing past the status quo. So I guess it's 7 ways. It's a bonus right here. You may think it's a given, but it's not. Love what you do. If you hate the process, no system will save you. You have to enjoy what you do. Otherwise, motivation will always fall. Do things that light you up. Do things that inspire you. I'm about truly chasing the things that light you up. The money will follow, things will follow, but like you got to do something that lights you up, that inspires you. You got to love the process in between getting from point A to point B, you know. You got to love the journey. To do that, you got to love what you're actually doing in the journey, in the process. You do not want to look at the end of your life and wish you'd done more, wish you tried harder, wish you were more motivated, wish that you showed up with more energy and you didn't just go through the motions. Sometimes there are seasons, there's going to be a day where you just go through the motion, and that's fine. Like, it's going to happen. That's okay. It's always good to do something rather than do nothing at all. But I think more days than not, you got to really push. I think that's how the greats look at it. And I want to be great. I know you want to be great. And if we do, we got to do things that other people are not doing to really show up every day and be motivated and push for greatness in our lives. The greats came up with new ways to motivate themselves. They didn't just rely on their discipline. They found ways to get up every day with a new sense of energy towards life and attacking life with all the energy and the might they had for that day. And they got up and did it again the next day. I am doing a Dark 30 challenge. Right now, it's a challenge for 30 days. There's 7 different rules that you have to do every single day for 30 days. It's something that I do every single year at the start of the new year to just kind of get focused for the new year, like give myself momentum going into the rest of the year. Challenges are a great way to make sure that you're not just going through the motions. It's a way to actually kind of push yourself beyond what you would normally do. For that reason, this is a great challenge. And if you want to join the challenge, please do. I created an episode particularly about the challenge, going over the 7 different rules about, I think it was like 3 episodes ago. So go find that. Maybe I'll link it down in the description so you can go back and reference that episode. If you do want to join now, you can join at any time. It really doesn't matter. As always, thank you so much for spending the time to watch this episode. And again, please like and subscribe to this podcast if you found it valuable. And also leave a comment if you found something in here that piqued your interest, something that you wanted to expand on, a question that you might have, whatever you wanted to do. Please leave a comment if you feel led to. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.
Take it from me someday.